Okay, it looks like we are live on Facebook. Live on Instagram. All right. Happy Monday, loves. Good evening, Facebook. Good evening, Instagram. Good evening, YouTube. Welcome to our very last session. It's our very last session. Hi, Mom. Oh, Mom's on Instagram. How's it going? Make sure you type in the comments. So, tonight is our last session of our Self Care Summit month. I hope that you've been enjoying this series. I hope that you've been getting value out of it. If this is your first time catching me live and you're not sure what I'm talking about, I've been going live for the last 3 weeks, 3 times a week, discussing actionable topics on how to manage waves of intense, challenging feelings, being able to navigate conflict, expressing your emotions better, getting clear on and establishing boundaries, and improving your communication and relationships. So to catch up on this series, in case you're kind of like, ooh, this sounds interesting, I wish I would have known about this before. To catch up on the series, if you go to my Instagram and you click on the triangle, right, because there's 3 different things now, and that's probably 4 different things now. There's posts, there's reels, there's what else? IGTV. So if you go to the triangle, which is the IGTV, click on series, and then you click on it says Jan Self-Care Summit Month, which means January Self-Care Summit Month. If you click that, you can catch up on all of our series so far. If you've attended my live streams or any of my sessions before, type hello in the comments. Let me know if you're catching this live or as a replay. And as new people are coming into the room and joining us, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Danny LeBerry. I'm a licensed psychotherapist and a happiness transformation coach. And I teach ambitious women effective tools to build confidence and feel worthy again, whether post-breakup, single, or in a relationship. And if you haven't already, you'll want to download my Wheel of Life packet for free, so that way you can catch up with us in this series. You can download it by clicking the link in the caption of this video, or if you're watching on Instagram, the link is in my bio. Tonight's session, feeling unhappy affects our life. In tonight's session, I want to talk a little bit about the emotional costs of not addressing our unhappiness or our mental health. Before I go into that, though, let's do a brief, quick recap of some of the things that we have talked about in our Self-Care Summit so far. So if you recall, we've talked about naming your thoughts and the roommate in your head, something that I commonly use with my clients. Like, I like to use a little thought bubble. So if you're reading the comic strips and someone's thinking something, you know how it looks something a little like this. So naming this helps us to see it, it helps us to manage it, it helps us to separate ourselves a little bit from it and put some breathing room and being able to manage and control it. So naming the roommate in your head, we've touched on the importance of practicing integrity and exploring where it is that you don't keep your commitments with yourself. We spoke about the importance of having healthy habits, doing an inventory of your relationships, and dating yourself. Being the person you're looking for is looking for. So in a very, very sample size version, you got to have an understanding of some of the work that goes on in the happiness transformation experience. If we don't make shifts to our thinking patterns, we can end up circling back over and over and over again, back to the same relationships, back to the same patterns. So if we don't take action, if we don't actually invest in ourselves, in changing our thinking, in learning about these things and becoming more aware, we can continue to spend money on whatever it is that we're using to fill that hole, to fill that void, whether that's alcohol, whether that's shopping. We'll also have a tendency to just continue to jump from one thing to another thing to another thing. So what I mean by that is, say for example, your affinity or your vice, whenever you're feeling unpleasant emotions, if it's alcohol that you turn to fill that void, we're going to keep drinking and we're going to keep spending money on alcohol until one day we get sick and tired of being sick and tired. If for some reason when you're experiencing challenging emotions and instead you turn to promiscuity, you turn to sex, you turn to relationships, you notice that people are a way for you to feel complete. People are a way for you to fill that void. People are a way for you to cope with those challenging emotions. If you're noticing that, until you actually stop and notice why it is you're doing that, or why it is you need people or need promiscuity or sex or those things of that nature in order to feel better, in order to cope, until we stop and we look at that, you're going to continue to do that over and over again. Sometimes we are so very unfulfilled and unhappy that nothing can fill that void. You'll just keep jumping from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship until finally you're just going to get tired of it. Or same thing with alcohol, right? Drinking and drinking and drinking until eventually it's just going to be like, okay, this is not scratching that itch anymore. So eventually our thoughts, they start turning into existentialist thoughts. The thoughts, when we go from drink to drink to drink, or relationship to relationship to relationship, or whatever it is that we're looking to fill that void, when we've run out of that, eventually our thoughts start to go down to a rabbit hole of, well, what is even the point? What's even the point of this? Why do I even exist? What's even the point of me being here? So we start going into existentialism when those things are not addressed, because it's kind of like going down a black hole. So like a rain cloud over your head, things can sometimes go down that rabbit hole of negative thinking. And let's just say, for example, that maybe it's just your intimate relationships. If those things don't get healed or resolved, they start to carry over and bleed over into other areas of our life. So what I mean by that is, if, for example, it may show up in your relationships, if it's not resolved, it can start to carry over in other areas such as your career or your family. It can affect how you're showing up as a mom or as a girlfriend or a wife. So just keeping that in mind, that until those things actually get looked at, explored, resolved, there are many emotional costs, financial costs, psychological costs of not taking action, of not actually making shifts or transformation. Things do not get better on their own because we're still operating with the same thinking that got us into the place that we're in. So, as this is our last session, it's our very last session of the Self-Care Summit month, and perhaps you've already downloaded the Wheel of Life packet and maybe you're interested in working with me, I do offer a complimentary 30-minute discovery call where we talk about where you are, where you'd like to be, and if we're a fit. If you'd like to schedule that call, go to DannyLaberry.com/contact. The link is in the caption of this video, and on Instagram, the link is in my bio. If you found tonight's session to be of value, please feel free to share it with a health and well-being bestie. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe. And I want to thank you so very much, especially if you've been following along, if you've been joining me for every night of the sessions, or if you're catching this as a replay. I really do hope that you found value in these series and in these sessions, and I appreciate you joining me. Again, my name is Danny Laberry. I'm a licensed psychotherapist and a happiness transformation coach. Take care of yourself, and I will see you on our next live streams.